That's right. Welcome to Comics Exchange, your friendly neighborhood podcast. Making my return, it's Mike D.
What? Yes. Can't keep a good man down.
I'm not the only one. And to my left, we have a lesser-known member of the Bat family. It's Ryan Shipley.
Lesser known, your boy had his letter printed in Amazing Spider-Man number 12.
You're speaking to a published author.
Yeah. Has fame changed me?
A little bit.
Let my butler answer that question.
I mean, you did pull up today in an Uber Black.
I did. I spent the extra money.
How many autographs did you sign? I got the first one for the record.
You did. 15 to 20 up to now, I believe.
Awesome.
And I started doing remarks, too.
I saw that. Very nice. Very nice.
The funniest part is, like, our friend Aaron, who, big winner last week, the Covenant Aaron I. Yeah.
Congratulations, Aaron. We now know who you are.
Yeah, but he was like, you want to do a remark on mine? I said, I can do a remark on yours. And he goes, oh, you can draw? And I go, I can't draw, but I can do a Spider-Man hit. And he was like, no, you're a writer. That's what you are.
Oh,
yeah.
The anchor treatment.
Well, it's not just the two of us. There is yet a third at the table. We wouldn't be here without him. He's the owner of Knoxville's longest-running comic shop. Where can you find that?
At the 3611 Chapman Highway.
That's right.
611.
In the house.
He's the comics commander. He is Bill Langford.
Woo!
The fun never ends, gentlemen. At the 3611.
Dun, dun, dun,
I'm
dun, dun,
okay,
dun.
I'm workshopping. You know.
I guess so.
I'm trying some new slogans.
71 episodes in, we need a second catchphrase.
There's going to be a banner over the door next week.
Because, you know, all those gangs that have the West Side Crips, the fun never ends.
We keep it lighthearted in our gang, you know?
We do.
Our initiation is you got to read a couple issues of X-Men.
Yeah. But it was weird. Yeah, on Batman Day, people were coming up and asking me to sign it, and it was a little weird.
Not even Spider-Man Day.
No. I'm surprised Marvel doesn't cash in and do, like, a Spider-Man Day.
Yeah, an X-Men Day, something.
I mean, every day is really Spider-Man Day.
Yeah.
It is.
But no, they should. I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of weird that they don't have something that they're capitalizing on, like the Batman Day.
How did Batman Day do here?
It did well. It was kind of neat. We had a 30% off sale on Batman merchandise, so we were able to move quite a few Batman things.
Yeah.
Any costumes?
So no, well, I'll take that back.
Oh.
I didn't get to work Batman Day.
Where were you at?
So where was I at on Batman Day? I think I may have been at the football game. But that being said, Hollywood Paul was gracious enough to cover for me, and
Nice.
Cody Jones.
Cody's first appearance.
Cody's first appearance.
Cody
Yeah,
Jones.
that's right.
Cody Jones. Oh, you got to put that in. Yeah, and it was like his first time working, and I think Paul said he basically managed the
So he did the register, and,
all day, and Paul like did the helping people find stuff,
kind of crowd work and crowd control, and
kind of became the Bill Langford of the day, because just like with you, I asked him to send me photos of the day,
yeah.
and I didn't get any photos.
See there, Ron, irreplaceable. You can't replace me.
Yeah, but no, good day, good turnout.
So it was fantastic, and
Yep.
it's always cool too to see like the new faces that come out for Batman Day.
Yeah.
Because usually those days, like Batman Day, Free Comic Book Day, we have a Halloween Comic Fest coming up.
Yep.
At the end of October. Those days are great because you see faces that you don't get to see during the rest of the week.
Oh yeah.
It's brings in a lot of new people.
Yep.
And that's really kind of what those days are geared for, and for younger readers. A lot of the books are geared toward younger readers. So it's fantastic. And like you said, I wish Marvel had a Spider-Man Day or a Wolverine Day.
Yeah, it's
So
weird that they don't.
Maybe we'll just make our own, Ron.
Let's do it.
Let's start if we're going to start a Spider-Man Day, maybe July 4th?
October 22nd.
October 22nd. Ron's birthday. All right.
So yeah, did you find a lot of people were like just picking up all the Absolute issues that they were missing? Like a lot of that was like Absolute Batman.
So the Absolutes are hard for us to keep in stock.
It's crazy,
and then,
right? With
and
how
then
many printings?
Insane, you know. And I guess it's got to be DC's huge hit for him for this past year. And not only that, but I guess we had a lot of people. There was some sort of Batman Day foils, I think, that you could buy.
There were some foils. Yep.
And so apparently some people were gaming the system because we had 30% off all Batman products.
Oh.
So they were hitting us on those foils. So we sold all the foils at 30% off.
How have you stayed in business for
It's
26 years?
My mom says that to me every time I call home. She's
Mom, I sold the foils.
you don't understand. No, it was a great day. It really was. Yeah.
And it's crazy with Absolute Batman, right? Because they've now have done multiple printings of multiple numbers of it But there are still some numbers that are just hard to keep in stock, right? Like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8.
Yeah, pretty much all of them. And this is the thing. And even with the graphic novel coming out, I figured that might slow down sales because people, we sold a lot of the trade paperbacks.
Yep.
But even with the trade paperback sales, the later printings still move. Right now, I just reordered like another 12 copies of number 1 8th printing or 6th printing.
The
Jay Lee cover.
Yep.
And probably by the end of tomorrow, they'll be gone.
It's wild, right?
So it's one of those titles. It kind of brings in new people to the store.
Yep.
Because it's one of those titles where you can jump on with the one and you don't feel like you've missed anything. Because it's only on issue 12, so it's only been out for a year at this point.
Yep.
So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll buy the graphic novel and then they'll start collecting the issues with number 7.
Yep.
Or they'll get one of the later printings and just build a run, but they don't care if it's all first printings or not. So it's been a huge book for DC, and it's had what you'd call a halo effect with a lot. It kind of has brought up a lot of the other Absolute books because Absolute Batman's been so good that people, they'll read Absolute Batman and they're like, well, if Absolute Batman's this good, how good is Absolute Flash? And next thing you know, they've gravitated over to Absolute Flash and then Absolute Martian Manhunter. And next thing you know, they're like, well, why don't I just get all the Absolute books? I'm already getting 4 of them.
Yeah,
so
and it's cool that this laid into, like, we're about a year now into the Absolute Universe. I know the ending of Wonder Woman last week, Absolute Wonder Woman number 12, we won't spoil it here, but people are super happy with the ending of that book.
It's a phenomenally written book. And I tell you what DC's done really well with this is that they haven't gone to the well too much with the Absolute Universe. Like, you could have Absolute Blue Beetle right now, and you could have Absolute Justice Society, and you could have Absolute Cheetah. You know, but they don't. They've kind of kept the quality. And remember in wrestling when the NWO hit and it was just Hogan and the Wolfpack and it was really cool. But then you fast forward like 6 months later,
Virgil showing up,
and here's Virgil, and here's
Disco
Hobbs and
Inferno
Nash.
suddenly is an NWO member.
Why's Big Boss Man in NWO?
And
it just kind of loses its cool because now you've just put too many people in the club. So DC could have killed this in the crib if they had gone in and made every book an Absolute book. But by keeping it kind of tight, I think they've done very well.
Yeah, I think it's smart the way they've done it, as you can see and they've been super smart with all the printings.
Yeah, they're real good about making like cool second and third print covers.
Yep. Because like you said, you have new people coming in that are saying, "Hey, I want to get in comics. It's intimidating, but I know there's no continuity with these Absolute books. I want to get what I can of the Absolute books."
And so, just to give you an idea from a retailer standpoint, when they do that, it cuts both ways because when they do second, third, fourth prints, I can't sell the first print for as much on the secondary market, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting.
However, I make more because by keeping the stuff available in later printings, I'm able to get new readers the books to get them on the series. If they just came in and I said it's going to be $40 for issue 1 and that's your only option, a lot of people wouldn't even start Absolute Batman.
That's a good point.
But the fact that I can say, hey, for $6, I can give you a 6 printing as long as you're not picky about printings, you know.
And that's something you mentioned before. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that the shall we say snobbery surrounding the first printings, that's sort of gone now. People don't seem to care quite as much as they did in the past.
Because somebody had the genius idea in the early 2000s, hey, what if on the second print, rather than just taking the same lame cover or the same cover and just, putting second print in the small print, and that's the only way to tell, what if we make a real cool second print cover and we have Jim Lee do, another cover?
And then with a smaller print run.
And with a smaller print run, and if you're a completist and you want all the Jim Lee covers, and so, since that's happened, they're more likely to buy a second print, but not my man Paul Lewis. He ain't having it. He's a first print guy.
Yeah,
I'm talking to you, Paul.
So essentially, like with the Absolute books, have you seen like sales have just stayed like where they haven't like really had any kind of slump? We're about a year now into the Absolute Universe. Everything seems like it's still like just picking momentum every month, like new people are coming on, like new subscribers every month.
And it's so weird because you're right, it's usually the opposite effect. Usually it settles down, like your first issue of any book, you're going to sell a big number because it's issue 1. But then by issue 3 or 4, you kind of have a good indicator of where that book's going to be because the number 1 people have jumped off, and now you're just left with the true fans. So usually a book that starts off selling, let's say if I start off selling 100 copies of an issue 1, by the time I get to issue 5, I'm about half of that. Maybe
so it's
60.
about a 50% drop by that
About a 50%
point.
drop. Maybe it depends on the book.
Yeah.
But with Absolute titles, it's really kind of been, like you said, the opposite effect to where not only did that drop off, not only was the drop off a lot smaller, let's say like 20%, but since once it plateaued and I hit that core level of fans, now the number's starting to go up because the people who have been getting it from the beginning are still getting it, and I'm adding these new readers because of the new printings.
So if we look at your total orders for issue 1 to 12, how similar are they?
So taking issue 1 out of the equation because
Okay.
issue 1's an outlier because
Yeah.
I go crazy on issue 1s a lot of
Yeah.
times and order probably way more than I should.
But issue 2 to 12.
But from 2 to 12, I would say on Absolute Batman in particular, like for instance, I think on issue 12 I had 125 copies. I'd have to go back and two might have been close to 200.
Okay.
Because on issue 1 I think I was around 400 or 500.
Okay.
But by the time I was at 4 or 5, I guarantee you that number was at like 100 and 120, 125.
Which is pretty unreal.
Which is still a lot of units
Yeah.
for a DC book, and it's crazy because it outpaces the regular Batman book.
Does it?
Which is, yeah, and I kind of figured that, I knew it would with issue 1 because of the newness of it.
Yeah.
But I kind of figured the bloom would come off their O's at some point, and Batman would overtake it. Right now, at least at my store, Absolute still, not, and don't get me wrong, the Jorge Jimenez Batman with Matt Fraction is great, and the numbers
Yeah.
spiked up, but not
Ooh,
higher than
yeah.
Jim Lee Hush Batman.
Which is sad.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But also, and you've noticed the same thing. It's like the other Absolute books are pretty reliable too.
Yeah, so the fact that I'm even selling close to 50 copies of a Martian Manhunter book blows my
Which is
mind.
crazy because
Well,
it's like we were talking before. It's like an A24 film. It's
Yeah.
not super mainstream.
It's not very accessible. It's one of the ones that when people look at, I really have to try and kind of sell them on it because the art initially is kind of jarring when you look at it.
Yeah. It's not typical.
It's not, yes. So the fact, like I said, that I mean my numbers even that high on a Martian Manhunter book speaks volumes about the strength of the Absolute line, and the fact they haven't diluted it with 8 or 9 other Virgils
Yeah.
and Big Boss Men.
Yeah. Props to them. I think it shows. It shows that the patience is definitely helping because I think now they said the next one is Green Arrow, and that's not until March of next year.
Yeah.
So that'll be a year since the 4th book that they brought out to the line.
And you know as well as I do that back in the 90s, if DC or Marvel had a hit like this, it would be, you'd have Nightfall Part 54. You know, you'd have so many different...
Absolute Jimmy Olsen will be hitting the shelves this week.
We'd be talking about it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great news, and it does just shows just the power of it. Where DC is doing everything right now.
And it gives me confidence going forward in the art form of comic books because the storytelling is, I think, is stronger than it ever has been. I think you have better, no offense, but I think you have better writers in comics now than you really ever have. And the art speaks for
great.
itself. And so, you know, when people talk about the demise of comics, all I can hear is the last 30 years of echoing in my head of the comics are only going to be in 5 years, they'll be gone.
Yep.
And then, you know, 5 years later, they were saying the same thing. And
One thing I've seen in, I guess, the last year or so is how many females and how many young people are coming in and starting subscriptions and starting to read books.
Yeah.
Because that's exciting because that's the way this continues. I hate there's a contingent online right now that just wants to crap all over their parade. These kids are making their TikTok videos and stuff, and they're going, "Happy New Comic Book Day!"
Awesome.
and showing all their books and just being excited.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of gatekeepers that are just trying to rain on their parades. And
welcome to the internet.
It makes no sense to me because the thing is, the three of us here, you're really old, Bill. But Mike and I are catching up. But we're kind of we're now the ones that are passing this down to the next generation to let this survive because our fathers and grandfathers started collecting in the 60s,
Right.
and they passed it on to us, and we were there to keep it alive. And now that's what we have to do. We're the ones that have to take this mantle and pass it down.
Right.
And I simply do not understand why you would gatekeep. Why you wouldn't let these kids have their fun.
No, but at the same time, I don't want to make it sound like this is something that's endemic to comic book fans because
no.
you
It's-
have this in
Video
music,
games,
you have it in gaming, you have it in movies,
Yep.
where people are like, oh, you don't know about Grand Theft Auto
Yeah,
6, and you know. So,
But it's like, let people celebrate.
correct. I mean,
Let them scream happy new comic day. I think that's exciting.
I'm gonna start doing that now.
Yeah, we're in what should be, by all accounts,
golden
a
age.
dying medium.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the printed medium is really struggling. Other than comics, if you look, magazines are struggling, newspapers are struggling. When's
Yeah.
the last time you even got a catalog in the mail?
Oh yeah,
You know, a Sears catalog or a Service Merchandise, which neither stores are in business. But any catalog. So the fact that that comics are not only still around but actually kind of flourishing, I think it says something about, like I said, the art form, and it says even more about us collectors. The fact that we're loyal and diligent enough to keep this whole thing afloat. Now, that being said, let me give a huge kudos to the movies. Because I'm not sure if without the films, if we would be here right now.
So you do think there was, because some people always argue, was there really, did the tide cascade into the comic shops from the movies? But you do believe there was some people that came in from seeing the movies to start reading comics.
1,002%.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it's, and I don't question my math there, Ryan. But it was a lot of people, and you would see it even when the Blade movies hit. You know, people would, you know, before they even had a concept that Marvel was building like what was called an MCU or a Phase 1 or a Phase 2.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. So okay, so you have noticed. And one cool thing's kind of shifting into news here is Image just sent a letter. I think this was last week to comic retailers, announcing that they're going to start instituting a 27-day window for their products to be exclusively available in comic shops. So before you can find the books on the online digital comic space, it's 27 days that the stores have it first.
And retailers love that. I go ahead and tell you right now,
I
the
bet.
response that I've heard from other retailers I've talked to has been nothing but positive. And the reason being is because, and I think that 27-day window applies not just to the comics, but also their new graphic novels.
That was my next question.
It does.
Yeah.
So, and that's really all we ask for as retailers is so we don't mind the online medium. As a matter of fact, I cheer the online comic because it creates so many new readers who would never walk into a comic store but would download a comic onto their iPad or their app or their phone. So I'm all for it. But the only thing we ask is at least give the brick and mortar store a fighting chance to compete with the online platform. And by giving us a 27-day window to sell first, that's really all we have. Because the people who we cater to are more so, they want the physical form anyway. And so if we can get it to them early and they don't have to wait 27 days, it's going to help our sales. And
I think that's amazing.
It's great.
yeah, I wish maybe some other publishers would follow suit.
Especially in the wake of all the Diamond stuff falling apart. It seems like that's just a good sign showing from Image for sure.
You know, and it's a goodwill gesture toward the retailers from Image that they're in this with us together, you know, and
Good timing, good timing.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, from them they said, beginning with December 24, 2025 on sale titles, direct market retailers will have a 27-day exclusivity window to sell all Image Comics collected editions and original graphic novels before those same titles go on sale at book market retailers and digital vendors. So, yeah, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's good for Image.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about the new thing? And I heard this came from Lunar asked if DC would kind of stop doing as many ratio covers per month. And I think that starts in October, right? There's going to be like less ratio books on books, right? Like it's
Yeah, I'm all for it.
you are?
Yeah, and then maybe it's just the era I grew up collecting in.
Yeah.
But for me, a ratio or for a book to have a variant cover, it had to be something special.
Well, right.
Okay.
You know, and it was kind of neat when they did it because it wasn't so often that they did it.
Yeah.
But it's the thing about absence makes the heart grow fonder, you know. So if I'm doing a variant cover on every issue, if I'm doing a variant cover on Birds of Prey number 42, and I'm doing a variant cover on Blue Beetle number 17,
Yeah.
then it kind of loses its specialness a little bit. So then when I do a variant cover on Absolute Evil or Absolute Superman, people are like, oh, it's just another variant cover. So I'm all for kind of bringing back, like, it just got to where there's a glut of variant covers. Like, I
Okay.
have so many variant covers, Ron.
Okay.
Just boxes and boxes of them because I'm a sucker. And I order them all.
Yeah.
I can't help myself. If I order like 50 copies and there's like a 1 in 10 variant, I order 5.
Because I know some retailers looking at this article were a little nervous because that's kind of impacts their bottom line, not having as many ratios to sell?
So that's the thing. Luckily, I've never really relied on the ratio revenue that much for my store. I could see some stores that really that would impact more than me.
Yep.
In which case, they're just going to have to find, move to a different revenue stream to find that money. But this is the thing, right? If a guy comes into my store and he spends $30 on a ratio variant, and if that ratio variant isn't there, I still should be able to sell him $30 worth of product in my store.
Okay, yep.
So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Is that he has a $30 budget for his comic books that week, and if he's not going to buy a 1 in 50 book from me for $30, I should be able to sell him $30 in trade paperbacks. I should be able to sell him $30 in action figures, or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives you more room on the shelves too, because I think there's been a glut of ratios.
100%.
Because you probably noticed like you have so many ratios just never get sold.
Never get sold. And I'll have short boxes I'll find in the back where it's just full of ratio variants from back in the day. And with a lot of these ratio variants, there's a window. If you don't sell it like within 2 or 3 weeks after it comes out, your chances of selling it. So on a new book, right? This isn't a ratio variant. Let's say an issue of Batman comes out, right?
Yeah.
If I don't sell that issue of Batman Incorporated, let's say within the first, I think it's 2 weeks, your chances go down 80% of selling that book.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
So basically, you have about a 2-week window on a brand new book. Not to say that it won't sell after that, but your chances go down drastically. So the same way with the ratio variant, if you don't sell it right away. And so the way I look at it is less ratio variants. Maybe it makes the ratio variants I do get easier for me to sell, right? Because now
it's more exclusive.
It's more exclusive. They don't make as many.
Yeah, and it may be in a way doesn't gatekeep people that love that cool cover but don't have $20 to $30, and maybe they'll just be like a C or D cover.
Right.
But yeah, because I think a lot of people too don't realize that like if you're going to get the ratio and your plan is to flip it, you need to sell that as quickly as you can. Same with if you get it slabbed, right? If you get a ratio slab for the thinking this is going to be an investment, you have to be careful with those.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of ratios I can think of that have maintained and gone up in value, but they usually have like an amazing cover by Adam Hughes or a beautiful cover by Mark Brooks, or for the most part, if you're buying it just for a ratio variant, as long as you're getting it's a book that you like and that you enjoy, don't get too concerned about the value of it. Just buy it because you like it.
But if you are trying to do it just to flip it, be careful.
Be careful. Yeah.
Yep. We also see there is some news here. Brian Michael Bendis might be returning to Marvel.
Wow. See, I didn't realize he was still welcome back at...
Yeah, because it's been crazy if you think about it. It's almost been a decade. Because he left to go to DC, I think, around 2017. And like I said, it was controversial because Marvel had put all their eggs into his basket.
So if you weren't reading comics in 2010, 2008, you don't realize that Brian Michael Bendis was pretty much the Marvel house writer.
Yeah.
Any big event Bendis was going to do.
Yep.
Any big new #1, New Avengers with David Finch, it's going to be Brian Michael Bendis. He was created basically the Ultimate Spider-Man title. Creates Miles Morales,
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. It's crazy how much stuff he did for Marvel in probably a 10-year period. But then it was weird because all of a sudden Marvel, I guess, grew disenchanted with him.
Yeah, because they started. They gave him like a Defenders book, and like a new Jessica Jones book.
So
but he was kind of off to the side at that point.
Second-tier titles, kind of.
Yep. Because I think his last event he did at Marvel kind of flopped. That Secret War or Civil War 2.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Not a fan.
But then DC made a huge coup, right? Because DC,
they made what they thought was going to be a huge coup.
they announced the signing. Because I remember people telling me back in the day when DC pilfered Jack Kirby from Marvel.
Yeah.
They'd run this huge ad campaign about the King is coming and how they've got the guy from Marvel's house guy. So you kind of thought maybe DC was going to do something similar with Bendis.
They did.
And they did. They did pump it up.
Yeah.
And but then they give him
Superman.
Both
Superman titles. Superman and Action.
Which, for one, Superman is a hard title to write.
Oh, certainly.
Philip Kennedy Johnson is one of the best I've seen here recently at writing Superman titles, but normally an incredibly difficult character to write because every month you have to come up with a threat.
Especially if you're like Bendis, where you tend to favor more grounded street level stuff.
That's the second thing, is that Bendis is what at the time was known for like Powers, Daredevil, more like the grim and gritty street
even
level.
Spider-Man, who works best as a street level
as a street level character, and
Yeah.
in his dialogue was the thing. He had like this David Mamet type back and forth where,
and he's probably the one that you can kind of, if you either give credit to or blame for how comics are written for the trades.
But I was going to bring up a point earlier, Bill, where you'd mentioned that modern day comic writing is better, and I think a lot of that can be attributed to more modernized dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
And your feelings on Bendis aside, whoever's feelings aside, when Bendis really first started coming into comics, he and his contemporaries of that era, I think, are the ones responsible for modernizing dialogue in comics. I think that was a major step. Before that era, it was still very stilted dialogue, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, it was. And like I said,
For the most part.
Yeah, he definitely brought more like a playwright's dialogue to comics. And because before then it was very hey Superman, hey Batman, that kind of. And Bendis made it more like how normal people speak.
Yes.
And he brought that over from Powers,
Right.
And brought that into Daredevil. But no, so it's kind of cool to see. I guess what they say, the prodigal son return.
Yep.
Back to Marvel.
So my question now, this kind of changes a lot, is where things could hit.
Yeah.
Is he the new writer for Ultimate Spider-Man after
Ooh, looky there.
after the Maker story is over? Because obviously, with how Ultimate Spider-Man sells, they're not just going to leave that property alone.
No.
So would it be cool to see Bendis, who did the young Ultimate Spider-Man, now doing an Ultimate Spider-Man with an older, as Bendis has grown older too?
Well,
interesting.
And then let me ask you this: and even if he did take over Ultimate Spider-Man, do you think he would build on what Hickman's done already?
I think so.
Okay.
I would hope that he wouldn't do like what he did when he took over Superman and immediately aged up Superboy.
Right.
Yeah. I hope that's what I would hope he would do. But I mean, and I think he'd also probably has something to prove because I think people would agree, even like his fans, that the DC move was kind of a flop.
Yeah. For the amount DC hyped it and for what you expected more. And I think if DC, honestly, if an editor had put him on, let's say, a Gotham City police book.
Or Batman.
Or put him on Batman.
Yeah.
But, just something where it was a little more grounded.
Yep.
And not Superman, and he creates that villain right off the bat that, didn't really catch on.
No.
And
you could tell, like, if you read both his Superman and his Action comics, Action was a bit better because Action was more grounded on the
family
reporter
around
and the
Superman.
reporting aspects of Clark.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, his DC run was.
So that's not a terrible. The Ultimate Spider-Man's not a terrible idea. I would read it. I'll tell you that right now. I would check it out.
It would probably sell. I mean, Ultimate Spider-Man already sells.
It's gonna sell, yeah.
But I think that would be a huge win if they announce it. Supposedly, the announcement's coming next week during New York Comic Con.
Maybe Stuart Eminem back on art.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Hopefully he reads the most recent stories.
that's what I'm hoping. I guess Superman is setting records though.
It is on HBO Max. It got 16 million views in the first 10 days. Is that right? I don't want to misquote that.
Yeah, that's what I think I saw too.
Look it up, Shipley!
And it really opens up, in my mind, a huge dialogue about box office and takes at the movie theaters these days. I mean,
How do you measure the success of a film?
right.
How do you measure a year in minutes?
Was that Wu-Tang?
That was Rent.
Dang it! I was so close.
Yeah, just to give you an idea real quick, it flew, to 13 million views
That was
in
close.
its first 10 days, marking the platform's biggest 10-day audience for a movie debut since Barbie in 2023.
So yeah.
But I think you're right. Like, when does it become where streaming numbers are as important as box office, or are they?
Well, you're not selling a $19 ticket to each person that streamed that on HBO Max specifically for that movie, so obviously financially it's not successful, but then you have to gauge the interest of the character. If Superman had done that well at the box office, look how well regarded Barbie was. People were like, this is a cultural phenomenon. Look how many people are going to this movie. If
and
they
not
would
only
have sold
that,
that many
but
tickets.
If Superman did 13 million views, what does that do for James Gunn's next Superman film?
Oh, interesting.
Right? Doesn't that broaden the potential audience, the top of the funnel for?
They're going to be hungry for that next one.
hungry for the.
Yeah, and they fast-tracked the sequel.
So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Superman 2 do bigger box office than Superman 1, right?
And that's, not always common, so that's very interesting.
No. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. But I tell you, and this is just from somebody, I haven't rewatched it yet on streaming, but I saw it in the theater twice. great as a rewatch. Incredible. And I was worried how it would replay, but there's not a lot of huge like twists, like M. Night Shyamalan thing, like kind of things.
Yep.
So upon a rewatch, it's like you get to see all the bright colors and the action again and stuff that you missed before. So the second viewing for me, I think I even like better than the first viewing.
Nice.
We did watch it a second time on streaming, and I have to agree with you. I think when I saw it in the theater, I was maybe feeling like trepidatious through the whole movie. I kept waiting for it to not be good, or kept waiting for something to go sideways. I was always waiting, is this going to be good the whole time? And knowing that I loved it the first time, sitting back and really enjoying it.
Nice.
Awesome. And again, Mr. Terrific, come on, how cool.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the secondary characters were
It's
fantastic.
so amazing. One funny thing, Jason Aaron was basically talking about like when he was working on Star Wars for Marvel, just how weird it was, like what they would allow and what they wouldn't allow. And this is kind of a funny thing I thought here. He said, doing the comics, we were very much the low men on the totem pole. And it was like, well, you can't do this because they're doing something similar in the movie, but they're not the same at all, though. I was told at one point, Luke Skywalker can't go fishing because he catches a fish at one point in The Last Jedi. I was like, is that the only time he's ever going to go fishing? How did he learn how to fish? But I think, but it's frustrating stuff like that all the time. And it reminded me of when I met Humberto Ramos earlier this year.
Nice.
He had brought with him, he had done a set of Star Wars variant covers. Like, I think the first 6 issues formed like a scene. And he said after that, he swore never to do licensed products again because he said he had to do Luke Skywalker's lips. It's always Luke Skywalker. He had to do Luke Skywalker's lips like 20 different times before Disney would approve.
Wow. But then they just let Rian Johnson do that to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi? Where's the line here?
Yeah, we got the Snyder Bros back. But I think that's kind of fascinating. Like, why some of these big writers or artists just never do the licensed stuff because of that extra frustration that causes.
I mean, all the hoops and the approvals you have to go through.
Yep.
And I remember there was a story where Tom King was writing, I think it was Sheriff of Babylon, right?
Yeah.
And, because he's an ex-CIA operative, and
Yeah.
he had to have someone from the CIA had to go through every script for Sheriff of Babylon and make sure that there wasn't anything in there that would be that needed to be redacted or taken out that could be potentially a national secret. Because it was his specialty was the Middle East.
Yeah.
And I guess this book dealt heavily in the Middle East, and so but yeah, just to even have to go through something like that is as a writer, because you want to tell a story, right?
Yep.
And you don't want to be constrained by the real world and this. But yeah, it's these things we all have to do.
It reminds me of Denton bringing that about working on the Transformers stuff, too. He'd mentioned some things like this.
Yeah, similar story with Hasbro, where they have a heavy hand over Transformers and G.I. Joe. But I get it. Those brands are billion-dollar brands, and the last thing you want is some small, not to say that the comics are small,
right.
but, some comic book miniseries, and it collapses your brand because you completely change Megatron, or you make Optimus Prime, or he's not even an Autobot anymore.
And congratulations, actually, to Denton. Yeah, because he said they're back on track after getting bushwhacked by the Diamond bankruptcy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
He was one of the companies that was owed money and was owed their product back. He was able to finally, I think this week, get Hell's Half Acres #3 out.
Yeah.
And
that's the one that he writes. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
very near and dear to his heart.
Yeah, and it just shows how much this Diamond debacle impacted small companies, because I think when he came here, which was almost a year ago, they were just launched #1.
Yeah, and I think he also, he won. Did they win an Eisner for The Passenger?
Yeah, they won an Eisner for their book, The Pedestrian.
Pedestrian. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And can you just imagine how frustrating and heartbreaking that would be to have that happen when you're trying to just work your hardest and release these comics, and then something so out of your control happens?
Out of your control. It's and like Ron said, that's the people you really feel bad for in the situation, because the retailers, we had a few hiccups we had to go through, and same way with the big publishers, but the little publishers, they kind of got lost in the wash in all this, and a lot of them still haven't found distributors.
Yeah, which is sad, and thankfully Magma has. But it has hurt them because, you think about it, I think they were within their first year when all this happened.
Yeah, it was. So, you're trying to start off this new company, and then, like you said, these things that are outside of your control start to happen, and, COVID.
With J.M. Stravinsky's company, AWA.
Similar story, and I think Aftershock, kind of a similar story.
And Aftershock, unfortunately, didn't survive it.
They did not.
Yeah, but that's kind of wild. Speaking of wild, Wolverine.
Okay.
take this.
Well, I almost want to put a ratings warning on what we're about to talk about. Okay, let's back this up. There's a Wolverine game coming out.
Yes.
It's made by the same people that made the phenomenal Spider-Man games for the PS5 and PS4. Insomniac.
Yep, Insomniac.
They announced a while back they're making a Logan game, a Wolverine game, and they released a trailer, and my jaw was on the floor. I could not believe this. There's limbs flying about, arms flying around, claws going through heads. It's like Evil Dead level gore, if not worse. I mean, it was a lot to take in. I did not expect that. I thought, he's going to be fighting some robots or what have you. There might be a slight bit of blood. No, they're screaming, just bones crunching. It was gory and it was impactful. And I don't want to use the word shocked, but I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and we get a few sneak peeks of Omega Red, Mystique, and that last shot of him looking up at a Sentinel.
Might have been Master Mold.
Oh, that could be, yeah. It looks phenomenal. And Insomniac has never missed. They have a strong record even back from the PlayStation 1 days. They truly understand, their writers understand the character Spider-Man.
Right.
So I expect the same for Wolverine.
Yeah, we see him going into a bar, getting into a bar fight. The mask isn't always on, so yeah, it's awesome.
And I'm hoping this leads to an X-Men game from Insomniac. Because that could be really, really cool. You got to get back into gaming.
Well, I do. So every now and then I play Monopoly Go on my phone.
Wow, whoa.
Yeah.
Gamer with a capital G.
I'm on level 640.
Yeah,
and,
nice.
And I keep seeing these ads for Royal Kingdom with the
when they have the celebrities?
with the celebrities.
That
And I'm like,
celebrity has no idea what's going
but
on.
if the cast of Friends are playing, how bad can it be, right?
Yeah.
So, but I haven't downloaded it yet because I'm spending all my money on Monopoly Go. But you're right. I think once the girls get out of the house and I have more time, because right now the only thing gets played at my house, we have an Oculus and we have the Nintendo, the Wii U, I think.
Wii U?
Yeah.
I told you he's a gamer with the capital. Yeah, you got the Oculus though.
We do have an Oculus, so we don't get to play it as much, but
that's hysterical.
no, it's so. I mean, but as far as I wouldn't say you're an expert gamer, Ron.
Wow!
Hang on, no.
Wow!
But I would say you're an expert at the games. Does that make sense? You know a lot about games. Is what I'm
playing
trying.
a lot of games.
So what I'm saying on this Spider-Man game or on this Wolverine game, how likely are you to buy it versus rent it or?
Buy it.
Okay, this is a definite buy, right?
There's not a lot of rentals anymore.
Okay.
Day one purchase.
What about the Blockbuster? You don't go
I got some bad news for you, Bill.
Friday night Blockbuster.
Are you sitting down?
I'm getting woozy.
No, I do remember there was that one guy that would come into the shop sometimes that had to take Spider-Man back because he just could not get past the Kingpin at the beginning.
he was going to go return the game. He couldn't get past. What was it like? You said that was like the first level.
The
right?
the opening fight with Kingpin. He's like, "This is too hard. This is Elden Ring level hardness." Speaking of Spider-Man, though, some sad news in real life. Tom Holland got concussed and injured on the set of Brand New Day. Thankfully, he's okay.
Got his bell rang.
The healing has kind of like slowed down filming.
Okay.
They haven't said anything about where they think it's going to miss like it's projected summer 2026, which still seems a little wild to me that it's gonna be done and out by next summer.
I blame the Punisher.
You blame the Punisher?
Well, hopefully that means they're going to be, like we suspect, they're going to be focusing much more on that street-level Spider-Man, and it won't require as much post-production craziness.
Yeah. That's smart. And they also announced...
Hear that, Bill?
You is smart. Marvin Jones the third is going to play Tombstone.
Yes.
In the new brand new Day. He's actually voiced Tombstone in Spider-Verse. He's got a great look. He was where I know him from, he was the main villain on the Black Lightning show.
Yeah.
He's got a super cool gravelly voice.
Oh, it'll be perfect.
I think he's perfect for Tombstone.
It's great casting.
And again, it shows that I think this new trilogy is going to be street level, and that's the smart thing to do.
And how good does that suit look?
The suit looks great.
Yes.
There's still the rumors that Mark Ruffalo is in this movie, but Mark Ruffalo, when he was doing the press junket for his new show, I forgot what it's called, but he said he still hasn't been sent anything about Brand New Day. So
Now he says.
yeah, he does. They're all liars, but yeah.
But even if he's in it, it could be like a cutaway scene on a news channel or something.
Oh, that's a
good
point.
yeah.
It doesn't even have to be necessarily. It could be setting something up in the future. But I am ready for Spider-Man, like stopping some kidnappings and some bank robberies and more street level stuff and less cosmic Spidey.
Oh yeah.
I do think John, what's his name that plays Punisher?
Barenthal?
Yeah, Barenthal. I think he's finished filming his parts for Brand New Day because he supposedly is on the set in Europe filming the Punisher special.
Man, he's done very well for himself.
He has.
Yeah.
There's going to be some very interesting interactions, I think, between Spider-Man and Punisher. I don't think nothing comes to mind as far as Spider-Man movies I can think of where he would have had interactions like he will have with the Punisher. I think that could provide some interesting cinematic moments.
And if you remember, it's been a few episodes ago we were talking about, like, we were kind of surprised with the viewing numbers for Daredevil weren't as high as we thought they were going to be.
Right.
But they must have still been good enough, and what Marvel has seen, or Disney's seen for the second season it's filming right now, is going well enough that they went ahead and announced the third season.
Excellent.
Which is really cool, because the first two seasons of Daredevil is the original 18-episode run that they had originally said they were going to do.
Right.
So this is more episodes after that, so I think that's perfect.
Great.
Yeah. And for a viewer, it gives them comfort in knowing that, because for a lot of TV shows, let's be honest, you'll start a show and you don't even know if it's going to be around the next season.
Yeah.
So, or much less 2 seasons. So for a lot of Daredevil viewers, I think that's one thing that's going to give them comfort, is knowing that, hey, I can go ahead and get invested in the show, and I'm not going to get the rug pulled out from under me.
Yeah, and it looks like, too, they're going to try to do, which is another thing I think hurts TV badly right now, when there's like the 2 to 3 years between seasons.
Yeah.
It's like, here's 8 episodes. Then 2 years later, 8 more.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, here's a major cliffhanger. Hope you remember everything that's happened.
So Stranger Things is bad about that.
Stranger Things is really bad because I think the first season came out in 2016, so it's almost a decade. I mean, the actress that plays 11 is now married and has an adopted child. Yeah.
Now, devil's advocate here. Let me posit this to you. Okay, let's say there's 8 episodes of a show. Each of those episodes are an hour long. That's a lot of hours. That's 4 movies, essentially.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
That's more than a whole trilogy of movies right there in one sitting. So how long does it take between movies?
Well,
A couple years, right? And if these shows are at a level of movie quality, which is debatable, but close in most cases, you know, it's not just like these episodes are throwaway 15-minute episodes. Like I said, it's almost 4 movies for the season. So I don't know. That's just my
no,
thoughts.
I see your point there, but Game of Thrones used to do it.
Give me things. No, you're absolutely right. And the production level on those were insane.
Yeah.
I mean, but as far as 8 episodes go, I think that's perfect. I used to, when it was 22 episodes, I feel like it's too much fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they trimmed that down, but
Filler episodes are named so for a reason.
Correct, yeah.
They got to figure a way to get the time where the show's going to be sooner. Because, like, I think Wednesday was 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it'd been that
Wow.
long.
Yeah.
Dang.
But yeah, I mean, it does feel so. There is a difference between the theater and the home, the television. You know, and so
Yeah.
I can go 3 or 4 years between Matrix films or Mission Impossibles. TV shows, maybe it's just, people have a little shorter attention span in their home, so maybe it's a little bit. But I'm with you, Mike. I'm willing to forego the speediness as long as I have the quality.
The quality is the main
The
thing.
quality is my
Yes.
main thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's only because I remember when we didn't have the quality, right? When the stuff was really bad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get back to that point, so I'm willing to wait, and you know, I feel pretty healthy. I'm gonna be around for a while, I'm willing to wait as long as Disney and Marvel put some money and effort into it, and then it doesn't go back to what it was when we're getting Fox doing Nick Fury and Gen X and stuff like that.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah. But it is frustrating sometimes with all the cliffhangers, and you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be 3 years if it even happens.
Yeah,
if it gets,
that's what I'm
'cause,
saying. So I think by Disney, at least give us the say, hey, listen, you're getting 3 seasons of Daredevil,
Yeah.
4 seasons of Daredevil,
Yeah.
you know, or something. Then that
Yeah.
way we know we can go ahead and get invested and not feel like.
And don't do that nonsense where you renew a show and then decide to cancel it before, like they've done with the new Dexter. Yeah.
We know now that Marvel's not worried about making 12 TV shows a year. Maybe they can get these they're working on a little closer together.
That would be nice. So we have a segment that we do called the Questions 3, where we bring on a guest and we grill them. We each ask them a question.
60-minute style, but we do it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. We're more efficient.
Yes.
But what we're going to do here is we're each going to ask one of us a question. Who knows who's going to ask the question? And we're going to let you kind of get to know us better.
I think it's a wonderful idea. This is like when you start elementary school and everybody has to stand up in the class and tell a little bit about themselves. And
Yep.
The questions 3.
Who wants to go first?
Bill,
Oh,
what is your favorite nationality or genre of food? And you're throwing out
so
there. Let's
I'm
nail
going
it
to say
down.
this is.
I'm so glad you added food there.
Well, it could have went different directions, but I was prepared to answer any question.
Yeah.
I'm on my feet. So I've thought about this a lot, Mike. I've actually put a lot of thought into this.
Okay.
Because food for me is very important.
Yep.
And I had a discussion one time, and I was like, okay, if I had only eat one nationality of food for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
Because there was a period where I was a vegetarian for about 3 weeks because the girl I was dating was vegetarian. And so I was trying in sympathy and in unison. And
Yeah.
So I found myself eating a bunch of Mexican food. And I realized that with Mexican food, I can still eat all the protein. I get beans, I get cheese, and it comes in all different forms. It's basically like 8 different ingredients mixed 20 different ways.
Yep.
So I got tortillas, I got beans, I got cheese, I got rice, I got all the different soups, the fishes. Did I say fishes? The
You said
fish.
fishes, yeah.
Edit that part out, Mike. No, I don't want the questions 3 and people think Bill's a moron. No.
Yeah. How does
so-
he run a comic shop?
Fishes. I'm gonna say I'm going with Mexican. That's a long way of saying Mexican, but I've put a lot of thought into this, and I think I can cover all my bases. Now Italian, I'm gonna go and say right now, it was a close second runner-up
Okay,
when I
I
was
get
thinking
it.
about
Oh
this.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of diversity in Italian food.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Mexican food's my jam.
Solid.
Yes.
Okay, so Mike,
Yes.
I met one of your friends the other day
right.
that revealed something about you that I never knew, and I've known you for quite a while.
I don't like this line of questioning.
And I know that you've been in a lot of bands.
It's true.
But is it true that one year that you performed at Bonnaroo?
It is true. It was 2007, in fact.
Really?
And
Now-
it was awesome.
No, that's in Manchester. That's the big one in Manchester, Tennessee, right? The
It
huge
is.
festival.
It is. I would never go and do that ever again.
Really?
How chaotic was it?
Logistically, it was madness. I'm just too old to deal with that again. But it was just thousands and thousands of people. We got there a little early because we were playing, and luckily we had the VIP golf carts driving us around, and
Nice.
we didn't have to mingle with the common folk.
The dirty hippies.
But it was like a third world country when we looked on the other side of those gates, just tents as far as the eye could see.
Right.
It was a lot to behold. But we were lucky. Flaming Lips and Tool were the headliners that year.
Holy smokes.
So a way you can say you opened for them.
Now they
In a
have
way, yeah.
There's different stages, right?
There's a lot of different stages. And, I wish I could say that we were invited because we were such a big band, but we just had the inside track with Ashley Capps locally, and he liked to bring local
right.
bands, so it was
Yeah.
our turn that year, which was great. And we played like Sunday at like 4 o'clock next to like a
Now, is
corn
this-
dog tent or something,
Is this with the West Side Daredevils?
It was the West Side Daredevils.
Wait,
yeah.
you had a band named the West Side
Oh
Daredevils?
man,
We did.
So as a matter of fact, quick story. I'm not to. I don't want to brag too much on Mike.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it until I think I heard a song on 90.3 one afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Locally, and they were talking about the West Side Daredevils, and I think at some point I'd gotten a CD from Mike of West Side Daredevils, and I put
Ooh,
two and two
CD.
together.
So many bands. So many
No,
bands.
it's.
Did you
I
get
couldn't
to
imagine.
meet any of the big ones?
I got to meet Questlove,
Oh, nice.
and the Police played one night, which is one of my all-time favorite bands, and they were not rumored to ever play again together. They didn't like each other, and finally they were playing together again. It just so happened to be I got to see my favorite drummer of all time, and it was very disappointing. They got up on stage, scowled at each other, played half the time they were supposed to, played all their songs twice as fast as they're supposed to be, literally walked off the stage to a helicopter and flew away.
A helicopter?
And I was like, oh, that was
Oh, that's disappointing. But did you just go on the day that you performed, or did you go for like a couple of the days?
we were there for the whole thing.
Okay.
And it came to be our turn to play next to the corn dog tent about 4 o'clock, and we started our first song. About a minute into that, the White Stripes started playing, and everyone cheered and ran away to go see the White Stripes. So
Well, That's the dangers of being at Bonnaroo, you know.
Yeah. But that's incredible because there is not many people that could say that they performed at Bonnaroo. And unfortunately, the last few years have been kind of like a bad times for Bonnaroo. They had to deal with COVID.
Oh, this last year? Oh,
and then this is the second time in like 4 years
The washout.
where it's been like washed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have the constitution for it now.
You don't think you could do it? If they were like, Mike,
I mean, I could,
we
but I'd
need you
rather
to
not.
we need you to reform the West Side
Listen,
Daredevils.
for a reunion tour.
Yes.
You know, one time.
And this time we promise you the White Stripes are nowhere around. Jack and Meg are no longer speaking. Jack just sold all his music.
Right.
You move it to the fall, I might do it. Middle of summer, deal breaker. Sorry, I'm out.
No.
Now, do you still play drums, Mike?
I do.
Okay, good.
You're in a band right now.
Yeah, we do the theme song for this whole show.
Yeah.
Butcher Bird. There it is. No, enough about me.
All right, Bill. You have a question for... I guess you're...
I guess for Ryan?
Yeah.
That's my name.
Well, you have several names. You're
Comics
a man of
Exchange?
many names?
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about video games, right?
Yes.
For you, let me give you a hypothetical, right?
Okay.
You're stuck on a desert island,
Okay.
but this desert island has electricity. All right?
Yes. Okay.
And there's flat screen television on this desert island.
Okay, nice.
All
Solar panels.
So
Yeah.
kind of like Tom Hanks in Castaway, but instead of Wilson, you have a Samsung.
Okay.
You can only bring, for the rest of your life, you're never getting off this island. This is like Gilligan's Island. So, yeah. So for the rest of your life, you got to bring 3 games that you can play.
Okay.
And that's the only 3 games
Okay.
from now until you die of malnutrition.
All right. And you know what? I'm going to pick my favorite 3 games because I'm not going to do like, I'm
gonna
going to
do-
bring this collection of all these games.
No, yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't cheat.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. So one of my favorite games of all time is Final Fantasy 3.
Okay.
I think we've renumbered it now to the
6.
Japanese, which when it came out here first in America, it was number 3.
Yeah.
Because at that point, a lot of the Japanese weren't translating because it was a lot more to translate the game and bring it over.
Right.
So this was the 3rd one that came out in America. It
Okay.
was weird because America went from number 3 to number 7. Because when it went
Because
to
7's the one that I think of as being like the most famous
that's
Final
the one
Fantasy.
with Cloud. Yeah, that's up there. 3 is also a favorite of
Okay.
a lot of people. It was
Iconic.
Because your criteria, I would think, is you want something that's got good replayability, right?
Yeah.
That you're not going to get tired of.
Yeah, 3 has 2 of the most iconic scenes in a Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
And I'm going to spoil a 30-something-year-old game here, so I apologize. The opera scene and the scene where Kefka wins
Okay.
and the world explodes.
You look at me like I should know what
Yeah.
that means.
No,
I have no idea.
And
but
and playing that game because
Yeah.
this is like really before the internet.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you couldn't go in
definitely.
there and get spoilers. And when Kefka wins and the world explodes,
Right.
and then you're playing these characters when they're all like throw apart from each other.
is Kefka the villain?
Kefka's the villain in
Okay.
the game. But it was amazing what they did in this game, and with all they did with just basically pixel art, where they could just move their hands up and down,
Yeah.
and really limit it with their animation.
Okay.
And they told a phenomenal story.
So Final Fantasy 3 is when, and these aren't in any order, right? These are
No,
just
no,
the
no,
3.
these
You're not
are-
ranking
yeah.
them. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's,
That would be on my list as well, by the way.
so
Yeah.
that's one of them.
Final Fantasy. And here's where I'm going to cheat because I'm going to do this. I decided I'm going to cheat.
Okay.
I'm bringing all as one the Insomniac Spider-Man games.
So what's included in that?
That's
What do you get?
Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2.
You get all 3?
That is cheating. You
That is
breed
cheating, I
yeah,
think. Yeah, seriously.
it's my desert island.
Okay, all right, Wilson.
So yeah, it's perfect.
Nice.
So now I got to pick a 3rd.
Number 3.
It's got to be a Mario game.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to cheat again. Screw you.
Whoa.
I'm going to pick Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
All right.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I
they're
think
gonna-
those are my games.
No, I think it's good choices, and I think it says a little bit about your personality too.
Yeah, that I cheat.
You like to get all the games.
Yeah. Well, those are some questions from us.
Yes, that
Yep.
concludes the questions. The first time we've questioned 3 each other.
Yeah.
In fact.
Well,
Yeah.
That sounds a little personal, but
I'm going to question 3 you guys so hard.
that violates my
Yeah.
HIPAA.
All right. Now,
Yeah.
don't we know so much more about each other?
There you go.
That was too much to know about.
Too
Ryan.
much. Yeah.
Too much on Ryan. I need more on Mike.
So if you are new to this, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
A little late, but thanks for coming. One thing we do each episode is we do our books of the week. These are books that are dropping the day of New Comic Day. New Comic Day! Yay!
Comic book.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the horn and see what book we're most excited for. I see yours, though, Bill. I think that's going to be the big one of the week. Let's start with you.
So, if I know we've been hyping the Absolute universe a lot in this episode, and not to harp on it too much, but if you have been following the universe, there's a cool one-shot coming out this week called Absolute Evil, written by Al Ewing. It looks like it's going to cover a lot of the stuff with because they haven't really touched on some of the villains yet in the DC universe.
Yep.
So it looks like it's going to cover, like, I guess they're going to form some form of like a villains union or something. But
Villains Union.
you have to pay dues,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There has to be dues. Just to tie back in with the Absolute Universe, it's a one-shot. You don't have to invest a lot. If you are following Absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and you want to flesh out the world a little bit more than what's just in that title, you can do it with this one book right here.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be important for people that are reading the Absolute books. I think it's going to be like Alternate Universe last year did that 1 year in.
Yeah, where it introduced.
This is comparable to that.
Yeah, because it looks like there's several characters in here
and
that
there's
haven't
one
been.
big one.
There is.
That there's not been any hints about.
Well, which is cool. I'm glad when they keep that stuff offline.
Yep. Mike.
Yes, my book of the week is something I've been very excited to talk about. I'll try to keep it brief, but I was just really into the first issue so much. My book of the week is Batman #2 by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. Nice. Quality level, the inspiration, it's all outstanding. And I'm going to take this opportunity to give the colorist a shout out. I've always said colorists do not get enough credit, and the color palette in this book is incredible. It lends itself to futurism. It's bright, it's colorful, there's still shadows. It works so well with this artwork. It's going to be Tomu Mori?
Okay.
Tomu, T-O-M-E-U.
It's not easy to pronounce names, is it?
You got me. You got me. But anyway, shout out to the colors of that book as well. I'm afraid this book is getting lost in the mix. We can talk about it next episode. 2025 might be the year of Batman. With all these other high profiles going on, and with the weird delays and Hush, I'm afraid this has gotten a little shuffled down into the mix. But it's an awesome book. It feels fresh. It's electric. And, there's, of course, the costume. And I've always been a black Batman costume guy. It's hard for me to logically to think about him wearing bright blue, but this is so striking. And being born in 19 when I was, I do have nostalgic memories of the blue costume, and this is pulling those back in. And it's fresh. I absolutely love it. Check out the new Batman, Matt Fraction, A+.
Yep. And Bill, remember when we were talking about what was going to sell more?
No, I do not recall that at all.
And you're like, there's no way it's going to sell more, Shipley.
That sounds made up to me, right? Completely.
Batman #1 sold over 500,000 copies.
Congratulations. You were right. I was wrong.
Yes.
Is that what you want to hear, Ron?
That's the new drop I want in every episode.
Don't pull that as a drop. That's not a drop.
Every episode. That's how we start and end the show. But no, well deserved.
It is. Congratulations.
Super good.
In today's market, that's a big number.
Yeah, and I read that Matt Fraction with his Batman run isn't going to do as much of Batman's inner dialogue.
Right.
So that way you're learning it as while Batman's doing what he's doing, and he's going to do more standalone issues with an overarching arc.
That is fantastic. And it does give you that closure like maybe an episode of the old Batman the Animated Series. There might be some underlying themes, but you feel when you read that issue, you've read an issue.
Absolutely.
And he's using the Robin, the Gen X Robin, the Robin that was the Robin when I was young and reading, that has kind of became the forgotten Robin.
I never thought about Tim Drake as a Gen X Robin, but he is.
He is kind of a Gen X. Yeah, I hadn't either placed him in
He's the forgotten Robin.
Well,
but this is
whatever.
This is back to giving Tim Drake something to do.
Right.
Love it.
Which is really cool.
And the cool thing is there is a variant to Batman issue 2, which is the Batman #1 with.
If you have that,
yeah, I think I do.
I would love it.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Super cool. My book of the week is Starship Godzilla.
Starship Godzilla.
So IDW has relaunched the Godzilla franchise. They're doing this is called the Kai Sia era.
Yes.
And they've done 3 books. They've done Godzilla, Tales, Escape from the Dead Zone, and this. It's all set in America to where America's superiority never happens because Godzilla has flattened America. The regular Godzilla book finds a kid that has the powers of a kaiju that wants revenge on Godzilla.
So can fight the kaiju.
And there is a kaiju also that can talk and is super evil. He's got a robot friend that Jet Jaguar. Who can only talk in the lyrics from Jaguar's theme song.
Okay.
So it's fantastic. But this is the 3rd book in this new universe, which I don't know how sales are doing on these books because I think there's way too much Godzilla on the market right now.
There's
so I
a
think
lot.
this is probably getting overlooked by the Marvel Universe Godzilla book.
Right.
But it looks super fun. It looks super fun to me, and I want to see more of this. So I think this is going to be Starship Godzilla is the Mecha Godzilla. So I think
that
I
makes
think it could be
sense.
cool. Yeah. And now we do this other little thing called recommendations.
Yeah.
This is where it can be anything.
There's no rules here.
There's no rules. I think one time Bill recommended a restaurant.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think we went to eat there, though, didn't we?
We
go
did.
To
Yeah. But you get to go first, Bill.
I feel privileged. Let me start my recommendation this week. I want to give a shout out to, I think I'm going to recommend Bricknomicon.
Oh, look at
Okay.
that.
So it's coming up this weekend. So when you hear this, it'll be October 3rd, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's 3rd through the
5th?
3rd through the 5th.
Right.
Friday through Saturday. I think it opens at 3 o'clock on Friday, and then I think the other days are 10. Let me just make sure that. Hang on one second.
So I know it's going to be at the Knoxville Airport Hilton.
Yes.
And they're supposed to be bringing some guests, and it's going to be a convention. I guess it's like a mix between Legos, toys, comic books, Funkos.
Yeah. So it's going to be on Friday. It's 3 to 8. Saturday is 10 to 7. And Sunday is 10 to 5. But yeah, they're gonna have the one of the Red Rangers gonna be there. Ernest the Cat Miller is gonna be there.
Wrestling fans.
Samantha Newark. The Red Ranger is Austin St. John. He's gonna be there. Yeah, so it's just gonna be. I think Nirvana has Sketch Ellis, a comics artist. But a lot of vendors. Our friend Sam's Phoenix Gaming is gonna be there.
So
I'm gonna be there.
That's right. Ron's going to be working the show, and
I'll be autographing Amazing Spider-Man 12s if you bring them.
for a fee.
For a fee. And I'll do a remark, whether you like it or not.
You're getting a Spider-Man head.
We'll be giving away probably Wednesday or Thursday. I want to give more people time to sign up for it. It's going to be a one-day pass. You pick the day you want to go.
How do they get the tickets?
Well, they're just going to, I'm going to have, they're going to be on a sheet that they'll have at the front of.
Okay.
When they go, they'll be in
like a will call?
A will call. They'll have a will call list.
Fantastic.
So I'll send out and email out to the people who won probably Thursday.
So all you listeners, be on the lookout.
Yeah, and make sure that you're going to our socials and you're commenting so you can be put on the list.
And if you see an email from Ron Shipley, it's that you won. It's not going to be asking, spamming for money or anything. So go ahead and open it.
It probably will because my birthday's coming up.
Oh, that's true. So maybe, but go ahead and open it anyway. Get your tickets.
Yeah. Mike.
Ooh, I have a similar problem in video games that I do with comics, and that is a ridiculous backlog sitting around.
Not enough time.
No, it's great stuff to look forward to.
Oh, yeah,
but it's sitting around, and every now and then a game will jump to the front of the line, and that just happened, and that game is Hades 2.
You son of a...
Oh, was it your turn? Yes.
But let's talk about it.
Let's do. It could be a shared recommendation if you want. What a game. It reminds me why I love video gaming. Every aspect of it just oozes creativity and passion and love. All the graphics are completely hand-drawn, just rich, beautiful colors. The voice acting, the gameplay loop is just addicting. The control is wonderful. I can't say enough positive things about it.
Hundreds of hours of voice acting.
Yes.
Really?
It's ridiculous how much voice acting.
The dialogue between the characters, outrageous.
It
But
never
it's
gets repeated.
It's like brief, though. It's not like you're watching cutscenes in movies.
Right.
It's you'll interact with the character for a few lines of dialogue and then move through the
Back to
game.
the
It all moves at a nice, fun clip. It's one of those games where you'll get to the end of where you're playing and be like, just one more time. We'll just go through one more time.
Explain what kind of game it is.
Well, it's what's known as a roguelike, which is that when you play through the game, it changes. The stage orders change. The weapons that you have change, which is one of the addictive qualities about it, is that you'll find weapons that you might not have thought you like that you end up liking. Or this run, you get to use fire. This one, you'll get ice powers and you'll move faster. This one, you'll be tougher and have an axe. The game changes each time you play. It keeps it completely fresh, but it's equally good each time you play through it. You unlock stuff. You'll unlock certain progress as you go that stays. Like, even though it feels like at first you're playing the same thing and over and over, you're really not because it changes so much. But you'll retain like levels, you retain money, currency, things of this nature. So when you're playing through it, you're not losing all your progress when you go back, but you're just so hungry to go through one more time. Love it.
Yeah, that's why you say like one more time, because it's like, oh, I got this far in this level.
Right.
I think I can do more this time depending upon, because a lot of times with the roguelike, each time you do a run, it's roll the die if you're going to get like good powers or not.
Oh, sure, you might end up hating what you have for that time.
Because you get boons from the gods as you're playing each level. So one time maybe you get something from Zeus, but the other time maybe you just get like one of the weaker gods. So there's that part in it too. But what they do is even if you have a run that doesn't go well, you're still progressing.
Yes.
You're still progressing, which is what kind of makes it like fun. The hours can just sneak by. Like Monday night, I think I ended up playing 4 hours.
Oh, wow. But it doesn't have to be. You can make a run sometimes in 15, 20 minutes and then be done with it then. So.
Okay.
And the gameplay is very tactile. It's like an old school top-down kind of, it's like a gauntlet feel.
Isometric.
So it feels like a classic game in that way, and it's all gameplay-based, much like Nintendo is known for. You're not going to be sitting around twiddling your thumbs in this game. You're going to be playing the game.
I am going to recommend something.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is a show that just wrapped up its hopefully first season. Hopefully got another one. Unfortunately, probably 2.5 years. Aliens Earth.
Oh, okay. No spoilers. It's
no spoilers. Noah Hawley, Fargo and Legion's fame. It's basically set before the first Aliens. There's scenes in the later episodes that are just incredible. And episode 5, which is a flashback to the first part of the first episode, stands as on its own. It's about a movie length as the best single Aliens content since Aliens 2.
Wow.
It's a bold
It's
statement.
incredible. Get on this if you haven't already.
I've heard nothing but good about it.
I haven't either. I've heard the production quality is top notch.
Production quality. Yeah.
I'm with Mike.
And it's all done
super
now.
Excited.
Hopefully it gets a second season because I think it's been the most popular FX Hulu show since Shogun came out a couple years ago.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It probably cost as much as Shogun.
As soon as I wrap up
So
Andor
freaking
and
good.
Peacemaker, that's the next one.
Third on the list.
Yep. Well, this has been a baddie episode.
True.
It's been an absolute episode.
True.
Yeah.
And it's our second YouTube episode.
Yes,
that's right. In the books.
In the books.
However, it's time to turn the final page on this chapter, as it always is. I'll be signing off as Mike D.
I'm the famous Ryan Shipley from Amazing Spider-Man number 976.
And I'm the infamous Bill Langford from the 3611 on Chapman Highway.
3611 in the house.
That's right. Thanks, guys, for being here. Love you. Bye.
Bye.